Okay, so you slop down a graph here. You don't make a table. You just know what the graph looks like, and you draw a graph that you think looks about right. And then you do this. So you copy this much of the picture down without the labeling. Then we got this point here, so we draw an arrow that represents the y value of the x squared graph, right? Whatever this x is, this arrow represents x squared, right? So if you don't understand that, look back at this video and make sure that you really work on it and try to comprehend it. And then we draw another identical arrow. So now I've got two of these. So this y value is twice as big as this y value. Okay? So now here's another point on the graph of 2x squared. Okay? Now, this is different than what we did over here. And it's a little harder because all these arrows have the same length, right? Why don't these arrows have the same length? Because now the arrow, here the arrow just represents the one that you're adding, and it's always the same, right? You always add the same thing to every number. Now we're multiplying by some number. So, whatever the y value is here, you're going to multiply it by 2. So your arrows represent your y values. They get bigger and bigger as you move away from the y-axis. Same thing on this side as you move away from the y-axis. The arrows get bigger and bigger. So now we can construct the graph of 2x squared. We just draw a series of arrows. It doesn't take that many. Okay? And then we double the y values by drawing identical arrows. But of course the arrows all have different lengths. And when we do this, of course the arrow here has length 0. When you double it, it's still 0, right? Then we understand that if you double the y value and the y value is 0, it's still going to be 0, because if you double 0, you get 0. Okay. Now we can sketch the graph of y equals 2x squared based on this graph, right? Okay. Now what we say is we've vertically stretched this y equals x squared graph. It's like we took the y equals x squared graph on a piece of a stretchable material and stretched it out to twice its height without stretching it in the x direction. Okay? Now, well, let me go on to the next statement, but in a different video.